Who are the children in the application of the diversity visa lottery? Who qualifies to be a child? Can you take the child of your relative and add there? The answer is no. Remember, we are dealing everything under American laws and regulations. So when you apply for the diversity visa lottery, the concept of family must be based in American context. The child must be either of the following 3 categories. Biological child, that's number 1. Number 2, the children who are adopted. By adopted or adoption, I mean you went to the court of law, the court has given you the adoption paper that you are from now on become the parent of this child. So adoption, not for you because your relative, your brother, your sister died and you have that child paying for school fees, or let me add, I consider this as my child. It's not about that. Do you have the court documentation of adoption? If yes, you have those one, you are going to add. And the last part of the child is supposed to be stepchild. If you are married to a person, that person has a child, you are allowed to add that child in your application. And also the biological father or biological mother, if is there, will also add this child. So the child will have more chances. That's number who is considered as a child. Biological, adopted, and stepchildren. What is the age of the child to be considered as a child? You must be under the age of 21. So from 0 to 20. And unmarried. If that child, let's say is 20, has a child, that means I'm the parent, I have a child who is 20, has a child, I'm not going to add my grandchild. This is not about that, it's me and my child. That person will come here and later will sponsor his or her child later. But it's me, I'm adding my child. So must be under the age of 21, so from 0 to 20, unmarried. If you were married, you are not supposed. So if you have 3 children, and out of the 3 children, one is 21, another one is already married, is 19, is married, another one is 7, you say you have 1 child, only the one who qualifies to be in the lottery. And you will need to have their date of birth, place of birth, and the photo. They don't need to have the passport to be included in your application. But another question is, what if I win the DV lottery? My child is 20 today. Until the results are out, my child already has become 21. You will still come with that child, despite the fact that he's already 21. They will consider the age on the time of application. So don't worry about that for people who turn the age of 21 after the results. Another question is, I'm now pregnant. What should I put? A pregnant is unborn child. You cannot have the photo of unborn child. You cannot include in the application. So if you are father and mother, you have 0, you put 0. You don't need to worry about that. But if a child is born after applying, you are allowed to add that child later on the visa application. Failure to include a child who is already born, I don't care whether you failed to get the picture because the child is in school or is in another city. Failure to list your child who is qualified to be a child. Failure to say if you are married for those who are married, or you say you are married while you are single. On the day of application of the visa, or you go to the interview, you will be denied the visa by lying. So you have to indicate the number of children you have right now who qualifies, whether you are coming with that child or whether you are coming with that spouse or you don't come with them, but you have to include your status at the day of application. That's very, very important. That is a must. Failure to do that, you will be denied the visa in the long run. And if you win, you come with you, your spouse, and your children. What if you have a child, you are not married, you are a single father, you are a single mother? There is no problem. The point is, they don't ask, How many children do you have in marriage? The question is, how many children do you have? Whether the children you are in marriage, you are not in marriage, whether you live with that child, whether you don't live with that child, you have to include the number of children. That's the question.